Hello, potato, and welcome back to the Soup March. It is part 7. It is the middle of the Soup March. We are at the peak of soup. We have 6 soups in our past. We have 6 more soups in the future. After today, we have 7 soups left. So let's, at the halfway point, take a quick overview of what we have left. We have 2 soups from Proper Good left. These are the 2 that kind of spawned this whole thing. We have cheeseburger soup, and we have pizza soup. Beef, tomato, and cheese, pepperoni, tomato, and cheese. This is one of the soups I'm legitimately a little worried about because it's got pickles there, and pickles tend to be a flavor that kind of infect everything. So I'm a little worried about that being too pickly. We have already tried one soup from Proper Good, weirdly not the weird one. The Thai-style red curry, we tried that last week, and that was pretty good. The only issue with it was I just didn't heat it up enough. I heated it per package instructions, and it needed longer than that. But it was pretty good. I definitely will try some more Proper Good stuff after Soup March is over, because they have like pastas and oatmeal too. So we're going to be revisiting them again at some point, I am sure. One thing I did forget to mention though in the Proper Good video is the cost of these. These are easily the most expensive soups in all of Soup March. These are like $5.50 per pouch. These are 1-serving pouches, not like Campbell's where it's condensed and you're supposed to technically have 2 servings. These are 1-serving pouches for like $5.50 where I picked them up. And that is more expensive than any other single item this month has been. Everything else has been more around the $2 to $3 mark. The only thing that kind of comes close to that would be the sipping broths. And that was like $11 for all 3 boxes. So that still kind of keeps it in the price range of the rest of our options. In the center, we have our 2 kind of non-themey ones I just picked up because legitimately they seemed interesting and I needed to fill out the ranks of the Soup March. We have our, still don't know how to pronounce that, FF IDWIDW. We've tried from this brand before way back during Just Add Water Week in 2020. This is artificial beef pho flavor. And then down here we have from Shirakiku, Sanukiya udon, fresh Japanese style udon. Now, I didn't realize when I bought this, so I went and checked. This is actually the same brand of frozen udon that we use. These aren't frozen. Obviously, they've been sitting here all month long. But it's the same brand that we get when we buy the frozen udon noodles to make our own udon soup. So I have high hopes for this. And I haven't looked it up, but I'm realizing now that Sanukiya, because there's other brands that use the term Sanukiya udon, and I'm probably mispronouncing that, but I'm now starting to think that that is the kind of udon that I really like, the big thick chewy noodles, because I've had dry udon before that just wasn't thick enough, and I didn't care for it as much. I like the texture, so I'm guessing that must actually be what Sanukiya udon refers to. I could look that up. I could go on Google or Bing or whatever, or DuckDuckGo and look that up, but I haven't. Next are our last 2 Asha Hot Ones collabs. We have the medium and the hot. These will be done in order, so while we do have 7 soups here, there's really only 6 options today. If we roll hot ones, it will be garlic chili because I want to take them in order. The smoky chili is the other one I'm a little bit worried about just because the mild one, the sweet chili, had a nice bit of heat to it, and I'm a little worried the smoky chili might actually be too much for me. And then finally we have Thai lemongrass. Millie's sipping broths have been kind of a weird one because the first one we did very towards the beginning. I think the second day of the Soup March, we had their Delight Pho, and that was simply Delight Pho. It was very nice, kind of had a ramen soup base kind of a feel to it, and it was it was pretty good. And then last week we tried the spicy tortilla, which bad isn't really the word, but spicy isn't really the word either. It was just kind of yeasty and tomatoey, and I think if I hadn't been looking for some level of spice, I probably would have enjoyed it more. But you put spicy on the label, and then it was easily the least spicy thing we've tried so far in the Soup March. I want to say even the beef birria ramen was spicier than spicy tortilla. So that's where we are now. We have 7 soups left, 6 options, so I am going to change from the 8-sided die down to the 6-sided die. because there's only 6 options left. See how that works? Isn't that great? That's why it's nice to have matched sets of dice. I really do like these. These are from Terran Empire Publishing. I picked them up in a dice blind bag back at SAC Anime Winter of 2025. And we're going to roll it in my What Today Designs dice tower that I picked up at the Mandarin Festival last year in 2024. So let's see, what soup do we soup today? Number 3. Number 3. So it looks like we're going to be doing the artificial beef pho. Now, I like these ones. I picked them originally way back in 2020. I picked one of these up solely because I liked the bowl. I had never tried Tom Yum flavor, which is what that one was, but I liked the bowl. I like the idea of this little like bowl you could keep and steep it in, and that bowl we actually do still have and use. It's great for putting peanut shells in, or pistachio shells, or anything involves having something you discard, like edamame shells, something with shells, things with shells, but not clams. So pho flavor, instant noodles, 270 calories for the bowl. It is 1 serving per container, and it is 75. It's very tiny. 75% of your daily sodium. So that's for normal Just Add Water Wednesday kind of territory there. And I have no idea what this is. I've never tried this one before. I have never tried artificial beef pho flavor, but I know pho. So does pho just mean beef? I thought pho referred to the noodles. That doesn't. Or is the pho with the little symbol on it different than like pho, like a bowl of pho, like a pho bowl? I don't know. I know it's export quality, which I don't know if that means if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Because I know, here in the US we do have lower food standards than a lot of the world. So I don't know if that means this is better quality or worse quality than what they sell in their own homeland, which is may contain crustacean. Well, that's good to know. Contains wheat. That stuff should be written bigger. That's very tiny. Wheat, gluten, and soy may contain fish, crustacean, nello. I don't know what that means, what that says. Could be helium. Milk, sesame, and egg. I guess, or egg. Where is this from? This is from Thailand. That's where pho is from, right? See, this, the channel's called Void of Intelligence for a reason. Let's open up and see what we have here. I want to say this, in 2020 at least, came with its own little eating utensils. Unwrap it, and then we'll add a second one of these little bowls to our inventory here. Is that a sell-by date? If it is, then this is very nearly out of date. If that's a best by or best before, 3/30/25, it's about 2 weeks from now. All right, so in here, okay, it's very simple. We do have a little itty bitty fork. I want to say the fork before had like folded over, but I could be thinking of a different brand. We have a very small noodle puck. We have our flavoring, and we have some sort of a congealed fat. Oil. This is definitely, it's an oil or fat of some sort, and it has, I guess, gotten too cold and solidified, or it's gone off and it's going to taste awful. So there were no instructions, were there? I didn't, or are they teeny tiny? No, I don't think that's in English. So how do I make this? I mean, I'm sure it's just add water. Oh, I tore them. They're up here. That's not good. Ingredients. Oh, I saw part of. Here we go. Place noodles in bowl. Add boiling water, seasoning, soup, and oil. Close lid for 3 minutes. Well, that's pretty simple. Well, let's check out the noodles and the flavoring. I'll add the oil when we go to add the water. I have to go grab the kettle and heat us up some water. Let's check out these noodles. So they seem, I mean, it's nice having its own reusable bowl. You can upcycle that and play with it or Like I said, it's good for putting things with shells. So they're very thin noodles. Good crunch. These might almost have some sort of seasoning on them already. But it could just be the flavor of the noodle. Let's check out our powder packet here. It's got some green chunks in it. I'm guessing that has to be like spring onion. Let's try a little bit. Well, let's give it a sniff first. Smells kind of light, salty. Let's go try. Kind of a light, beefy flavor. I think a little bit of spice in there. That or could just be my tongue reacting weirdly. But I do feel like there's just a little nip of spice, just a little bite of it on the end of my tongue there. It's getting an interesting aroma spreading through my mouth as I talk now. Yeah, it's a very light flavor, kind of on the sweet side of things. Interesting, but not bad. But all right, I need to go get some boiling water, then we'll add our oil, add our water, and then take another break for 3 minutes. So I will see you back here momentarily with some boiling water. And I'm back with the kettle. Here we go. Let's put in our oil packet, and then I'll add our water. I don't know, for me, I didn't want to put the oil packet in before putting in, or like that far before putting in the water. So what is this oil? I'm guessing this is just going to be kind of oil. It's got a flavor that is not wholly pleasant. It's a very green flavor. It's a very grassy tasting oil. It doesn't taste like it's rancid or anything. It just doesn't taste fantastic. But I mean, I'm guessing it's probably largely there for some sort of mouthfeel, maybe to make the flavor stick to the mouth a little bit more in the same way like the chili oil does with some of the spicier ones. So I'm going to fill this up to that little line there, almost, and there. And then we'll pop on the lid and give it another 3 minutes. So I'll see you back here again in 3 minutes, and we'll have ourselves some artificial pho. It is now 3 minutes later. Let's see what we have. We have me almost dropping the lid back into the soup. So, I mean, the noodles have expanded. Just kind of noodles in a brown broth. It is not visually exciting, is it? I don't know. I mean, what do you expect from instant noodles, all right? And I think this little fork is probably, no, I mean, if I was like if I was at work, I have silverware at work, I still wouldn't use the little fork. If I was somewhere where for some reason I have access to boiling water, but not utensils, the little fork would work just fine. But yeah, we're gonna go the more traditional, for me at least, chopsticks and spoon route. It's get you a closer look at it there. That's soup. Looks like noodle soup, right? Smells interesting. It doesn't smell quite as savory as the powder packet did. There's almost like a baked good sort of a smell. Sorry, I didn't mean to the camera. It's not. It's got the sound like almost like a sweet baked good kind of a tinge to it, which is interesting. But I said, the packet was a little on the the lighter, sweeter end of savory. So now let's see if we can't get some into the spoon here. Try a little broth. And get the full artificial pho experience. I've already forgotten the proper name. I'm probably going to have mistitled this video because I don't remember what the name of it is. Let's give it a try. The noodles are surprisingly firm. There is some pepperiness to the broth. I wouldn't exactly call it spicy, but it's got some heat to it. Of course, the oil does make that heat stick around in your mouth a little bit. It's definitely spicier than the spicy tortilla, but that's a very low bar. And I can taste that grassiness from the oil. I can very much taste that in there as well. Yeah, it's got some heat to it. It's not like, you know, spicy. It's not bulldog. It's not hot ones. But it's, I'm gonna say it's a little bit spicier than the Thai style red curry was. So it's up there. It's up there in the heat we've experienced so far. Again, we still have these two to deal with. It is definitely one of the hotter ones we've tried during the soup march. So yeah, if you're not a spicy person, I feel like you're probably not going to like this one. The flavor is definitely, it's not one I've had, I think they've had before. It doesn't just taste like beef, you know, packet ramen or something. It's, again, we have the grassiness from the oil. I'm assuming that's where the grassiness is coming from. And yeah, it's the flavor is totally different than just normal, like beef udon ramen. Instant noodles. I like the firmness of the noodles. That was like my least favorite thing about the birria noodles, was that the noodles got very mushy very, very quickly. These still have a nice springiness to them in the mouth, which I do prefer. But I don't know, the flavor is a little, again, it's different. It's not bad, it's not unpleasant. But it's not really working for me. It definitely doesn't have that sweetness that I was kind of picking up in both the scent and in the seasoning packet on its own. It's definitely more on the savory side of things. Pretty peppery. Like, again, you know, it's nowhere near my personal threshold, but I will acknowledge there is heat in there despite not adding any extra like spicy stuff to it. For the amount of sodium, it's not super salty. It's not bad. I mean, it definitely isn't worse than like spicy tortilla, which was just disappointing. I think I gave that like a 3 or a 4. I think I did. I think a 4, because I think I said it wasn't bad, and I think if I said like anything 3 and below would be bad. So I guess I have to give this on like a scale of 0 to 10. I'm gonna give it a 5. It's straight down the middle. I like the noodles. Because remember with the birria would have been a higher score if the noodles had been better. And I think my other issue was just that the broth kind of disappeared and became gravy, which was still tasty, but it stopped being a soup eventually. This one, I can't think of anything specific I would change about it. The flavor just doesn't quite work for me. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's not something I think I would buy again. I'd buy the Tom Yum again before I'd buy this. I seem to recall the Tom Yum being quite good. And I think they make one more in this series with the plastic bowls we have to visit someday. Not today, not this week, not during the soup march. The soup march is already laid out for us. So yeah, it's not bad. It's not the best thing we've tried. It's certainly not the worst thing we've tried. It's just average. It's just straight down the center average. And with that, I'm going to go and finish my lunch now. We've got 6 more soups left, 5 more options, 6 more videos of the soup march. We have reached the peak. We have looked down upon all that was behind us and all that was before us. And some of those are words. And now it's all just downhill from here. 2 more proper goods, Sanakiya udon, 2 more hot ones, and 1 more sipping broth to go in the next couple weeks. So if you tried this, how do you pronounce it properly? What's the actual pronunciation of the company's name? Is pho just mean beef? Or is it just saying that it's beef flavored pho? I don't know, but let me know. clear things up for me in the comments if you would be so kind. And hey, if you found this all interesting or entertaining, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and come on back in a couple days for part 8 of the Soup March.